Good day to you. Just getting on the bike. I had to adjust something really quickly. Well, welcome. Looking forward to a nice ride today. Let's adjust your resistance. Extra light. Extra light. And let's sit up on our bikes and just let our arms hang to the side, shake them out a little bit, take a few deep breaths from the belly. See if we can tune into the feeling of the muscles working, even at this very light resistance. Allow your shoulders to fall away from the head. See if you can loosen the muscles in your forearms and your neck. We're just trying to come into the body right now. We're just trying to kind of reduce the thinking about the future, the past, and allow ourselves to be here in the moment. Let's bring our arms back down to the handlebars now. And keeping our resistance very light. Just accelerate your legs up to this rhythm. And we don't want big muscle output, big power output from the muscles. All we're working on now is smoothness and suppleness. We're settling our hands onto the bars. Making sure our neck and our spine are relatively aligned. We can begin thinking about stitching together a beautiful full circle pedal stroke now. Feeling the calves and the hamstrings, scraping mud off the ball of the foot. Maybe sensing the ball joint in the hip. It's a cool thing to think about as you're pedaling. Visualizing that ball in the joint, rotating with the leg bone. Rotating in the pocket, that is. As we pedal this rhythm at a light resistance, our hips, we notice, are staying very calm, very relaxed on the saddle. You may recall that one of our tests, smooth pedaling, is a champagne glass test. Now, of course, the champagne will slosh a little bit when you're holding it We don't want to be completely still, but it's a good way of thinking about decoupling the upper body from the lower body. Even with the resistance light right now, my breath is starting to pick up. I can feel a transformation in the legs. The muscles are getting warm. They feel more fluid and smooth. See if you can notice that in your own legs. Very clear rhythm for us to follow here. I like that. That helps focus the mind. It seems like we're doing it on autopilot, but it actually takes some processing. Some real processing in the brain, which helps keep us in the moment. In 3, in 2, and 1. Let's slow our legs down. And then let's sit up again. Pedal your legs. Move your legs really slowly. Shake out your arms and shoulders again. And see if you can notice any change in the feelings of the muscles of your legs. Certainly notice if your breathing has picked up. If you have a heart rate monitor on, I always reach for my wrist for that. I always do that. I always grab my wrist because that's where the heart rate monitor is. If you have the heart rate monitor on, just notice that. It should add 10, 20 BPM to your heart rate. Same level of light resistance that we had before. Return to your handlebars and just come up to a nice, comfortable flat road pace, whatever works for you, somewhere between 85, 92, 93 RPM, somewhere in that ballpark. Just find one that feels comfortable to you, that's appropriate for flat road, as if we're covering some territory now on a flat road. Now we're going to shift gears, but don't do it just yet. I want you to really think about this and visualize this. We're on a bike ride together, both in easy gears. And we decide for the next mile or so, we're going to add to our speed on our bikes. In other words, we're going to go faster, work harder. But we have already the physiologically efficient cadence for flat road, so the only thing that changes is we shift gears. And of course, turning a bigger gear, a harder gear at the same RPM is harder to do. And so it's for about a mile, and we're going to be in that zone of kind of pushing ourselves a little bit. Let's reach down, shift those gears, and if you can, sense what it feels like for the bike to speed up. The wind becomes stronger in your face. And most definitely feel it in the muscles of the legs immediately. Your body recognizes that we've undertaken a pretty significant effort now. Our goal here is to become as meditative as possible, constantly checking in with our body posture, what the shoulders are doing, how the hands are on the bars, if our elbows are slightly bent. Perhaps you want to tune into the bottom part of the pedal stroke where you feel the ball of the foot scraping mud. Perhaps you want to focus on the hips, pushing over the top. Or maybe you want to just think of a circle and see how smooth you can make that circle, incorporating all the different muscle groups. If it helps, you can think you're right by my side here. How are your legs feeling? What is the level of discomfort in your legs right now? We're almost there. We're coming up on our mile marker. We're moving pretty fast. Beautiful. Dial down your resistance. Sit up tall for just a second. Keep the legs turning. Whew, my breath got up to 7 or so on a scale of 1 to 10. So grab some water, catch your breath, and as always, integrate that experience. If you can, think about how you felt at the beginning. See if you can remember that. Think about how you felt during, how you feel right now. Integrate. It's all one experience. It's all one continuum. I'm sweating now. Allow your legs to just find this rhythm right here. And just breathe. Light resistance. You can sit up. All we're trying to do is find the rhythm. It's a beautiful feeling. Being one with that rhythm, I'm going to join you again. I want us to think about adding in a resistance at this pedal speed that we could not hold for 5 minutes. Couldn't do it. 4 minutes maybe, 3 minutes probably, 2 minutes for sure. You know that feeling like, okay, but 5 is out of the question. That's the feeling we're going for. We will not hold it that long, but I want us to get to that feeling right now. Add that resistance in, hold your rhythm. Settle your body down, maybe put your hands together like mine are so you can drive more fully through the hips. Now let's do this together. Could you hold this 1 minute? Yes. Could you hold this 2 minutes? Yes. Could you hold this 3 minutes? Yeah, I think so. What about 4 minutes? I don't know. And 5, no. Now for all of us, this will be a different amount of resistance. It's the feeling that matters. Some are stronger. Some have more endurance. I love the feeling of the hips driving over the top now. Such a powerful movement. Notice what your breath is doing. Notice what your heart rate is doing. Relax that upper body. You see how my hands are just resting on the bars. I'm breathing deeply. Now we're going to stand for just 5 seconds, then come back to easy resistance, okay? In 3, 2, and 1. Add heavier resistance. Stand into it. And now come back into your saddle and reduce your resistance. What'd that do to your breathing? Okay. Running out of decent royalty-free music. So we're sitting up tall right now and we're just sensing what that did to our breathing and sensing what that did to our heart rate. And also to the muscles. They got tired from doing that. Let's come back to our handlebars. Using your light resistance, bring your leg speed up to around 100. Just keep the resistance nice and light. We're looking for fluidity here. We're looking for suppleness. kind of fluidity, suppleness that I talk about is not very often taught in spin classes. But if you're outdoors riding on a bike, relatively high speed, covering distance in a tightly packed group, this upper body relaxation and this suppleness in the pedal stroke is everything. It's about efficiency. It's about keeping the torque on the bike the same for both sides, because a harder push with one leg will tend to swerve the bike in one direction. So if you're stomping with different amounts of force, your bike is weaving. So in outdoor cycling, we can immediately see and experience cyclists just by the way their bike is behaving, by the way they maintain a speed, how their upper body stays relaxed. If you're behind them, you see their hips moving independently of the upper body. These are things you get from real cycling, and they're some of the most beautiful parts of cycling. With this light resistance and high pedal speed, you'll find your heart rate and breathing begin to climb. You might want to try sitting up doing this. It's harder to pedal fast sitting up like this. But if you have hips that tend to bounce because of a stompy pedal stroke, this will more securely settle your hips into the saddle. If you find you're having a hard time keeping this 100 RPM because your legs hurt so much, take some resistance out. It's a beautiful time now to maybe close your eyes if that feels comfortable to you, and tune into the body. Do your own body scan. Use your interoception. Use your sense of how your body's aligned in space. Now the legs will start to get a little fatigued, yes. And you'll notice that. And you'll notice the effect on your pedal stroke. Almost there, almost there. Okay, slow your legs down. Again. Take some water. Turn your legs slowly. Notice the feeling in your legs right now. Do they feel engorged? Do they feel a little weak? Maybe that sense of fatigue. Notice how much sweat is on your forehead. For just 10 seconds, closing the eyes, keeping the resistance light, sitting up tall. Find the rhythm with your legs. I mean, take 10 seconds to do it. Not just for 10 seconds. Take the next 10 seconds. All right, we got the rhythm. We're gonna settle into a moderate effort by adjusting the resistance and holding this rhythm. Let's do that first. Moderate effort. So not super steep hill, not really strong headwind, just a moderate effort. Maybe count that rhythm to yourself in your head. That's a nice way to keep yourself engaged with it. When I give you the signal, and I'll count down to it, we're going to add resistance that we can stand on, but does not feel like we're in steep hill. So enough to stand on, enough to take our body weight without having to control the pedals too much. And we're going to stand up for 10 seconds. In 3, in 2, and 1. Add the resistance. Not a steep hill. You'll feel this more in your quads now because we're controlling the pedals more. Now come down to lighter resistance, where we were before, moderate. So we want to keep the pressure on a little bit right now. You'll notice you feel that more in your quads than when we're doing extra heavy and slower standing climbing. You ready to do one more? In 3, 2, and 1. You can change the amount of resistance based on how that last one felt if you like. Back down to moderate resistance. Stay right where you are. And now dial your resistance down. Pick up your leg speed to 90 RPM. Very sweaty today. It's warm out though. You might want to sit up like I am and just allow yourself to recover a little bit from that. It's okay. Keep the legs turning though. I am now returning to my handlebars. I'd like for us to do 2 sprints with recovery in between. Each sprint about 20 seconds. We'll get the leg speed up to 100 to 110 and we'll add resistance that feels like we couldn't hold the effort for 45, 50 seconds. That's what it will feel like. Each sprint will be about 20 seconds. And this is just a beautiful opportunity to apply what we know. Hips stay stable, upper body as relaxed as possible. Feeling the huge power output from the muscles of the legs all the way around the circle. So much to tune into in a sprint. Alright, let's get ready for our first one. Maybe take a deep breath and exhale. Feel the belly expand as you do it. I'll count us down from 3. In 3, 2, 1. Accelerate your legs to 100 or so. Add that resistance. 20 seconds right here, very relaxed. And dial down your resistance, way down. Recovery. Tune into what your breath is doing. Maybe put a number on it. 1 to 10. If you have your heart rate monitor, you can take a look at that. We are ready to go for our next one. Let's come down into the position on the handlebars. In 3, 2, 1. Accelerate the legs, add the resistance, sprinting for 20 seconds. Reduce your resistance, slow your legs. With your resistance nice and light, let's just get our legs turning 85 to 92 RPM. Outside of active working zone and just in kind of active recovery zone. Trying to pedal that tiredness out of the legs a little bit. And all the while, notice what your heart rate is doing. Notice what your breath is doing. Mine's almost recovered from that. Still a little elevated, I can tell. For our last really hard effort of the day, we're going to stand up out of the saddle at very slow cadence for 30 seconds. So make sure to adjust your resistance properly when we stand. I want you to be able to get through the 30 seconds. This is a feeling. Sense how your body feels. You can adjust during. For any of you new to RevoCycle, this kind of out of saddle work is taken directly from outdoor riding, where we have a gear so hard that we can't turn it seated anymore, and we have to stand onto it with our body weight to help drive it. That's typically why we stand on a bike. You might not be used to that, but that's what we do. So heavy that you have to bring your body weight into it. Your cadence is going to be what feels comfortable to you in the 65, 70, 72 range. So a slower cadence, typical of that of a hill, a very steep hill. What did I say, 30 seconds? Or 20? 30 seconds. So we're going to settle into it. It's going to be hard. All right. I'll count us down from 4. In 4. In 3. In 2. In 1. Add that heavy resistance, set your cadence into the 65, 70. And allow your hands to be light. And feel your body weight driving into the pedal through the glutes. That's how heavy this is. Bring it all the way down to light and turn your legs easily now. Slow cadence, light resistance. I like that. I hope you're able to make it through that 30 seconds. Of course, if you couldn't, that's fine. But that's also just a reminder you could take a little less resistance. If you found that really easy, you could always add more resistance. So we're starting our cool down now. We have started our cool down, and our only goal right now is to pedal very lightly in order to take the work out of the muscles, which in turn allows the heart rate to slow and the breathing to come back to normal. We can still pay attention to our body. We can still tune into our posture. Feel our belly expanding with the breath. Noticing the breath slowing. Noticing the hip bones might be a little sore on the saddle. I'm noticing my handlebars are sweaty. My hands are kind of sliding around on them a little bit. So I'm going to put my hands right here. Anything to just stay in the moment. Alright, I'm going to sit up and I'm going to let my legs slow to a stop. I'm going to sit here and just tune into my body. I can feel my belly and chest rising and falling. I can feel my heart beating in my chest. I'm right now stacking my vertebrae, letting my shoulders fall to the side. I feel the sweat dripping down my forehead now. Let's stand up. 3 9 o'clock with our feet. Let your heels drop. Feel a stretch in your heels. I mean, calves. My mind was racing there. Switch your feet. I was thinking about thirst, which got me thinking about dehydration and then ultimately really serious thirst. Let's swing a leg over the bike and stand next to it, which got me thinking about the book I'm reading, which is about the tragedy of the whaling ship Essex, which a whale attacked 1,300 miles out at sea from the coast of South America. Destroyed the ship, and all the men had to go into the boats. 1,300 miles out at sea. By the way, Moby Dick is in part based on that true story. I switched legs. I'm now on my other leg. Let's stretch the hamstrings. Go ahead and set a leg on the top bar of the bike or the handlebars of the seat. Yeah, a whale attacked the ship. It rammed the ship in the front twice. Causing it to take on water. It broke the timbers of the ship, can you imagine? It took on water and it quickly started listing to the side, took on more water. Pretty soon it was heeled over completely. The men were absolutely astounded because in all their years of whaling they'd never heard of a whale attacking a ship. It hadn't been recorded. And then later, 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, after they'd been floating on the ocean with their boats looking for help and trying to reach land, an orca attacked one of the boats. They felt they were exceptionally unlucky. This was in the Pacific Ocean. Beautiful ride today. As always, I'll leave the music going for a couple minutes. Stretch some more. Drink your water. And we'll see you next time.